Marcy, how would you like to play Three-Question Thursday?
I'd love to.
All right, Three-Question Thursday. Well, I had Heather in the chat come up with something that I want to ask you. She said she makes your crock pot apples almost every week. How do you do that?
Oh, let me tell you about this.
What?
Let me tell you about this recipe. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, gosh, get my pen handy.
Okay, so I enjoy Ezekiel bread, but as you all know, if you've tried it, it's a little dense, it's a little dry, and it needs a little something on it. But there's, that I'm aware of, no jam or jelly out there that's Brightline Eating friendly. So my husband said to me, let's make some apple butter that doesn't have sugar in it. Surely that'll work. So I just started piling in stuff in the crock pot. I've made apple butter for years, but it's always had tons of sugar in it. So I thought, well, I can do this. I'll just leave out the sugar. I wasn't convinced it was going to turn out well, but oh my goodness, did it turn out so good. So you're going to want 6 to 8 Fuji apples, and don't try any other kind. I'm just telling you right now, you got to use Fuji apples. And I don't know, Heather might use something else, but for me, it's only Fuji. And then you're going to put, you know what, hold on. I'm just going to look at the recipe so I can give you the exact
awesome
of cinnamon. Here. Okay.
6 to 8 Fuji apples. Write that down, Phyllis.
Yes. 6 to 8 Fuji apples. You can slice them, dice them, whatever. Throw them in the crock pot. 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. That's a lot of cinnamon, but it's good. If you're using 6 apples, you might want to go down to like 1 tablespoon. You don't want too much cinnamon or it'll get bitter.
Do you peel the apples?
No, nope, I don't peel them at all. I leave the peel on there because that's where all your nutrients are. A 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And just cook those in the crock pot till they're complete mush. And then I just use a masher, mash them up, and they turn into like an apple jelly that is so sweet you would never believe there's no sugar in it.
And so you just weigh that out like regular fruit. Oh my word.
Fruit. Yeah. And it like 0.5 ounces of that is, for me, plenty to cover a piece of Ezekiel bread. So it leaves you lots of other fruit for whatever else you're having.
Wow, gotta try that. I've got another food question because you posted a recipe and it has cooked oatmeal in it.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work out?
Okay, wait, I just have to go back to the apple butter really quick. It freezes fantastic. So if you're worried about making too much, just freeze it in mason jars and it'll be just fine.
And there was a comment that actually said soak apples in baking soda water to eliminate pesticides if not organic.
Oh, that's a very good tip.
So I'll put that out there. Soak apples in baking soda water to eliminate pesticides if not organic. Okay. All right. So the question that's next is, I think this is, and that's 1 teaspoon to a gallon of the baking soda. So the second question is about cooked oatmeal in your recipe. Now I know this bulks up your recipe, so can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, that recipe I posted, the peanut butter banana muffins, does have cooked oatmeal in it. It's the only muffin recipe I make with cooked oatmeal, but it does really bulk up and add moisture to the muffins, so they've got a really good texture to them. Most muffin recipes make 5 or 6 muffins. This one makes 8. So for this quantities, girl, I'm really happy to have 8 muffins for breakfast.
So do you cook the oatmeal and then you just store it, keep it cold and use it in the recipe, and then it basically cooks again? Is that?
Yes. Yeah, I feed my kids oatmeal for breakfast. Whatever they don't eat, I make into these muffins every once in a while.
All right. Well, I've got a third question that's about food too.
Bring it on.
Well, it's because I've wanted to make this recipe that you posted. It's the banana bread. And it's got psyllium husks in it.
Yeah.
First of all, what kind of psyllium do you use? Because there are, if you go and look, there are a couple kinds.
Ooh. You know, I just went to the local health food store and asked for psyllium husk.
Okay.
I honestly don't know the different kinds and what's better. Mine is like a powder. It reminds me of wheat
Okay.
germ or something. It's very powdery.
Okay.
And if you're not familiar with psyllium husk, it's what's in Metamucil, and it can help make you regular, but I don't use it for that reason. I use it because it gives baked goods an amazing bread texture. So if you make this banana bread that I posted without the psyllium husk, it's a little moist and gooey.
Okay.
You put that psyllium husk in there and it tastes, the texture's just like bread.
Wow. Well,
So, but one disclaimer about psyllium husk, because I see my friend Linda Steele there, and I just feel like this needs to be said, that some people have had an allergic reaction to psyllium husk. So you may want to just try a tiny little bit before you bake with it to make sure you're not one of those people.
that's really good advice. Okay, so those were 3 food questions. I'm going to ask one more because even though it's 3-Question Thursday, what you mentioned about mantras. What is a mantra that keeps you going? I don't think you actually stated your mantras in the Zoom.
No, I didn't. You know, I have a bunch of them written down because different ones speak to me at different times in my Bright Line Eating journey. One I used a lot in the beginning was, I've tasted that, I know what it tastes like, and I don't need to taste it again. You know, I still bake things for my kids occasionally, less and less, but I do occasionally bake things that I don't eat just for them. And, you know, even after doing this for 2.5 years, sometimes that smell and seeing that stuff messes with you a little bit. And I have to just quick shut that down and say, oh, no. I've tasted this. I know what it tastes like. I don't need to taste it again.
Yeah.
So my other one I use a lot, especially if I'm dealing with hunger, is nobody ever died from hunger between breakfast and lunch. You know, there's always another meal coming in an hour or two.
Yeah, boy, and so much to be grateful for that we have food, plentiful and good food. And when you're using your recipes, wow, even better food.
Even better food.
So Marcy, thanks again so much for being on Starting Out Bright. And thank you for playing 4-Question Thursday.
Yes, you're so welcome. And so wonderful to see everyone's faces tonight. Some of my friends, it's fun to see you all on here, and new friends and old friends. So
yeah, so great. Thank you. And thanks everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Stay bright.